In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And then God said, "Let there be Forza Horizon."
Forza Horizon, or Forza Horizon 1 so you don't get confused, was the very first game in the franchise, the one that started it all. Now, in my Forza Horizon 3 retrospective, everyone in the comments was talking about how Horizon 1 was the true best Horizon game, and I sort of just shrugged those comments off as just some people reminiscing about the good old days and how Horizon 3 isn't the best just because it's newer. I'll be honest, I had never played this game at all. I was in diapers when this game came out, so I had never even played this game until December of last year when a good friend of mine hooked me up with a copy for Christmas, and my god, those people in the comments were right. Now, obviously, my heart will always belong to Horizon 3, probably because it was my first Horizon game and I'm just nostalgia-blinded. But damn, Horizon 1 is a phenomenal close second. This game is vastly different from the rest of the series and is, to this day, the only Forza game to be rated T for teen. But being different is what makes this game so good, and it still holds up extremely well today. So I figured since this game hits a monumental 13 years old this October, I figured we'd take a deep dive into Forza Horizon 1 and discuss every aspect of what makes this game the masterpiece it is. It's time for a Forza Horizon 1 retrospective. To understand Forza Horizon, we first have to understand Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport was essentially Xbox's competitor to PlayStation's Gran Turismo games. Motorsport was your typical racing simulator with various cars, tracks, and racing conditions, and it was wildly popular. If you owned an Xbox, you most likely owned at least one copy of Forza Motorsport. However, the company that made the Motorsport games, Turn 10, was craving something different, a spin-off series perhaps, and so Forza Horizon was born. Horizon would be an open-world game where players weren't stuck to a track and could instead roam freely and explore different areas of the world. However, Turn 10 couldn't create this game alone, and so they needed another studio to come to assist them. Enter Playground Games, a small, little-known game developing company from the UK. And at the time, choosing Playground Games to create this game was a huge gamble for Turn 10. This was a small and fairly unknown studio that they acquired in order to make a spin-off of one of their most popular games. But head of Turn 10 Studios, Dan Greenwald, said it was a necessary risk. In an interview, he stated, quote-unquote, "Of course it's a risk, but some of the best racing games in the last 20 years have come out of the UK racing game development studios," end quote. And Danny Boy was right. Forza Horizon was released on the Xbox 360 in North America on October 23, 2012, and in Europe on October 26, 2012 to critical acclaim, scoring 85 out of 100 on Metacritic and a 9 out of 10 on IGN. The Digital Fix gave it a 9 out of 10 as well, saying, quote-unquote, "This marks a new direction for the series and one that deserves your attention. Not only does it provide top-notch visuals, a fantastic summer soundtrack, and a wealth of racing options, it makes a traditionally sterile racing simulator just downright fun." And I couldn't agree more. But enough background, let's get into it. Horizon 1 probably has the most unique campaign in the whole series, as the most character and story-driven gameplay in the whole franchise. The game opens by showing an opening cinematic of a road with fall foliage surrounding it, and then we see the cover car, a yellow and black 2012 Dodge Viper thundering down the road. We hear the voice of bass arena DJ Scott Tyler who talks about this year's upcoming festival. Following that, we then see a bright red Ferrari F99XX that's being driven by this game's main antagonist, Darius Flint. Scott Tyler tells us that Darius is the undisputed Horizon champion who's won the festival championship the past 3 years. And then we're immediately thrust into the action. You race Darius Flint to the festival, but then you don't, and it's revealed that you're actually parked at a diner and your car is a little red Volkswagen Socrato. The game basically goes, "Oh, yeah, you like this car? Oh, where's your shitbox?" And then the real race of the festival begins. You have to race other people, and you have to be as fast if you want to get to a spot because there's only limited ones available. When you finally arrive, you're greeted by the festival director, Alice Hart. She gives you a map and an earpiece so she can talk to you through, and then you take your car into the garage to get inspected before you can start racing, and that's where you meet Dak.
Mr. Dak has problem with my car, I think.
Damn right. You need to swap out these fancy shocks for something a farmer would recognize, or you don't race.
Yes, Mr. Dak.
Yeah, the trouble with you kids these days is you try bending the rules before you learn the game. Hey, 95 VW Corrado. Used to own one myself. Of course, I looked after mine. Turn her over. Timing's off. On the bright side, this fine automobile shouldn't get you killed. Now that's your pass. You'll need to come back and see me for performance upgrades to stay competitive. That's if you make it through the heats, of course.
Dak is probably my favorite character in this game. He's the only old guy in a sea of these damn kids. He's a really likable character, especially when he greets you when you go to the garage.
Let me know what you need. What can I do you for, kid?
He's just such a good character, and he reminds you of your grandpa. Also, fun fact, Ashley from Forza Horizon 2 is actually his daughter according to the Scott Tower 10th anniversary lore in Horizon 5. Anyways, you get your car checked out and you get thrown into the heats, which is basically an opening race, and you have to place good in order to keep progressing through the races. Once you beat that, you're then booted into Mustang versus Mustang Showcase event, which is where you race a 1965 Mustang and it's a plane. And then, once you do that, you head to Race Central to get your first wristband. And I also just gotta show you this cutscene because it's just way too good to skip.
One more thing. This isn't a ticket for your TV antics. I think for one moment you're creating incidents for your show. I'll pull you from the championship quicker than you can say series cancel.
For you, Alice, anything.
For real. This is a one strike and you're out deal.
Okay, I get it. No dangerous ass clown behavior. I swear.
Oh, hi. You're the new guy. Here, nice driving. You bagged the last slot. That wristband means you made the championship. There are 249 other drivers competing this year, and believe me, every one of them is more famous around here than you.
I crashed that one. It was awesome.
Darius, hi. Hold on a minute, will you? If you want to make a name for yourself at Horizon, it's all about how you drive. The crowds come to see spectacular racing, and I can always use a driver who has the crowd on his side. Darius, what's wrong now?
So you get your first wristband and you're off. Just like Horizon 2, this game uses the wristband system to help you track your levels. You get a different colored wristband each time until you receive the final golden wristband. So this game's progression, as I said, is very different from the next 4 games that would follow after this one. The way you level up in Horizon 1 is pretty much the same as in every other game, except there's a crucial twist, and that is the stars. There will be a Horizon star that you have to beat at every race in order to level up. And once you're done, the main racing events, you then participate in a star showdown, which is a one-on-one race. And if you move on to the next level, you get to keep the car. Think of it as like the Koopalings in Mario. Each Koopaling has their own boss fight once you get to the end of each world. Basically the same idea here, except the Koopalings don't trash talk and cuss you out. Yeah, that's where the big T rating comes into play. These stars will trash talk the shit out of you. This is probably where you can most see the Need for Speed inspiration the most. There are 7 stars you need to beat, those being Ramona Cravash, Ali Howard, who we'll talk about in a minute, Duke the Crashman McGuire, Marco Baran, Zachy Malik, Haley Harper, and of course the final boss of this game, Darius Flint. And each character has their own personality and dialogue. For instance, Zachy Malik is a spoiled rich kid who drives a Lexus LFA, and then Haley Harper, who's a slay you go girl diva. But this was just such a cool concept, and what made this game's progression so unique. Also, you would constantly have to upgrade your car in order to stay competitive, something that isn't really a factor in the newer games. When you're about halfway through the game, you're then introduced to Ali Howard, who runs an illegal street racing ring without the festival's permission.
I knew you couldn't resist, yo. This is the scene. The lifeblood behind the circus. Adrenaline junkies getting their fix. They know the real high is when you put it all on the line. Now you been yapping in my heels, bro, over the championships, and I respect that. I do. But what we got right here, it's a different kind of experience. Pink slip. Hey, all or nothing. You ain't never felt a rush like it. Come hang with us whenever you feel the need, yo. That's what you saying, baby. You gonna roll away.
The street races in this game are really fun. You can definitely feel that Need for Speed inspiration. This game was also the first to have barn finds, which were old abandoned cars you would have to look for around the map that Dak would then go and fix up. Barn finds have been a series mainstay ever since. The progression and pacing in this game is perfect. It isn't too fast, but it also doesn't drag on either. Once you make it through all the races, you then face off against the Horizon champion himself, Darius Flint. The final race at first is just a regular race, however if you win the race, Darius won't be having it, and he challenges you to a 1v1 around the whole map. This is the perfect final race, and then you did it. You climbed your way to the top and knocked off King Darius. Darius gives you his prize Ferrari 599 and the credits roll. This is how a Forza game should be. A perfect balance of racing, characters, and a great story. Now there's barely even a story at all. It's basically just race around and that's it. And also, there's a popular theory that the credits show the character you play as dying in a car crash.
Markings on the road from where the character apparently spun out and then smashed into this guardrail. And the theory suggests that this crash was fatal. And here's where this theory might get even darker than that. Because if you try to rewatch the cutscene celebrating your victory, it's gone. You can only ever see this cutscene once. After that, it's gone forever. If you actually go into the pause menu and you roll the credits, instead of watching this cutscene again, you're just presented with a static image and you can never relive this moment. Some players speculate that this is actually intentional and the cutscene actually shows your character crashing the 599XX, but you never get to see it again.
This is always just a stupid ass theory to me, mainly because the reason the car looks like it crashed was probably just because of an error of the game's code. But anyways, 10 out of 10 progression. Horizon 1's map is probably one of the most underrated and overlooked in the entire series. Many critics and players complained the map was too small and restricted. You couldn't really go off-road and there was a lot of guardrails and invisible walls that restricted you from going off-road. So sure, it wasn't the most expansive map, but for what it is, Horizon 1's map is phenomenal and very diverse. Horizon 1 takes place in none other than the marijuana capital of the world, colorful Colorado. Colorado was a great location because it has a perfect mix of mountains, canyons, and small towns, and this map replicates it perfectly. You have the sleepy small towns of Carson and Beaumont, the creepy abandoned mining town of Bunker, the rolling hills of Clifton Valley and the Montana Plains, the iconic Rocky Mountains, the Family Dam, this weird abandoned factory, and my favorite part of this map, Red Rock. These windy, rocky roads are perfect for canyon carving in a fast car during the sunset. Driving these roads that overlook the whole map is such a vibe, and at night you can see the bright lights of the festival. And speaking of the festival, this festival is in my opinion the best and most festival feeling festival in the whole series. It really does feel like something out of Coachella. Also, we can't go talking about this game's highway system, which is great, but still nowhere near as good as Horizon 2's. So all in all, Horizon 1's map, while extremely small by today's standards, still delivers a diverse landscape and great driving roads. No Horizon game is complete without its soundtrack, and my god does Horizon 1 have a damn good soundtrack. To curate the soundtrack for this game, Playground Games appointed Robert John Gotham, aka Rob the Bank, who is a professional DJ from the UK who helped to create the UK music festival Bestival. So this guy knows a thing or two about music festivals, and boy did Rob deliver on the soundtrack. There are 3 radio stations: Horizon Rocks, which is rock and metal music, Horizon Pulse, which is pop music, and Horizon Bass Arena, which is when you're blackout drunk at a college party in 2012 music. But all jokes aside, the soundtrack is jam-packed with bangers such as Lonely Boy by Black Keys, Are You Mine by Arctic Monkeys, She Bangs the Drums by Stone Roses, Need You Now by Cut Copy, Hawaiian Air by Friendly Fires, Get Away by Yuck, Cinema by Benny Manessi, Aroused by Tom Veck, Blue Monday by New Order, Walking on a Dream by Empire of the Sun, Take a Walk by Passion Pit, and Animal by Neon Trees. I also absolutely love the DJs in this game too. Bass Arena's DJ is the iconic Scotty Tyler, who's been in every single game since. Horizon XS is hosted by Phoenix Fox, and Horizon Pulse is hosted by Holly Cruz. And these DJs are probably the best lineup in the series. They really sound authentic. Just listen to a couple clips I've compiled.
Hello, it's me, Holly. Keep the texts, emails, and tweets coming our way. I will read out the best ones live very, very soon. First, though, more awesome music.
I heard Zachy Malik bathes every day in a swimming pool of fresh dolphin milk. That must be hard to come by in Colorado, right? We don't have so many dolphin farms these days. I hope this doesn't shorten his stay with us. Phoenix Fox asking the big questions on Horizon Rocks.
Line set. Here's a track for everyone who was there last night. And please, wherever you are, turn your speakers up. Cause this one is for everyone that loves their music loud.
So yeah, I really like the music and DJs in this game, and I feel like it really adds to the realism of the game. In December of 2012, the Horizon Rally expansion pack was released. This was basically the same idea as Storm Island, just without the extreme weather, and it's one of the more forgettable expansions in the series. There are also a couple of car pack DLCs, like the IGN car pack and the Honda Challenge car pack, but other than that, there wasn't anything too big going on in the DLC department. Forza Horizon is one of those games that can just stand the test of time. It's a perfect balance of story, racing, and characters. Does it have its edgy and cringy moments? Sure. Did the graphics kinda look like ass in 2025? Yeah. But this game had a soul, a certain charm and life to it that the other games just couldn't recapture. I would absolutely love it if Horizon went back to this formula. Make it more racing and story focused. Make the characters talk trash to you, not one of this dumbed down baby bullshit.
Not even a scratch! The jungle awaits! Shut your fucking mouth!
I would also love it if this game got a remaster for the Series X because it would just look so much better. But you really gotta appreciate the scrappy upbringing in this game. How Forza Horizon went from a niche little Need for Speed ripoff to a giant blooming community with creators racing and gaming. As the saying goes, Forza Horizon was the series that made car lovers gamers and gamers car lovers. And that is the true meaning of Forza Horizon. And let's be honest, we all fall asleep to Haley Harper mommy ASMR.